Morning. It's kind of a funny joke that when I call or see my friends, I always say, "Good morning." So I consider you a friend. Welcome to this fun presentation. Have you ever had a time where you had one experience and it shifted your life? I hope that this presentation gets to be in that category. So let's go on and see. So this presentation is called Faith and Fun, Practical Tips for Learning and Healing Using the GHK model. We will be discovering principles of GHK. I will be sharing some of my favorite visual tools. I will be sharing some fun stories and interesting stories, and maybe a song, because I love to sing. So before we get into the thick of things, let's just take a deep breath and take a look at this visual that I created a few months back. It's called Mastering the Art of Personal Vibration. So everything in the world is a vibration. We are our own vibration, and it's ever changing. So there's lower darkness, shame, powerless, fear, impatience, anger, frustration would be in there. Those are lower vibrations. Courage is what I call the line. That's the line where we know we can do better, but maybe not know how. Then neutrality, curiosity, faith, freedom, love, joy, peace, enlightened, and God. So write down or think of the primary emotion that you have right now. Is it a lower one? Are you dealing with health issues and you're trying to figure them out? Or are you in the flow and you're on your passion, you're on your mission? Are you in a higher range? Just kind of note it, because we're going to come back to this at the end, and you can just kind of see if Deanna is true to her word, that she truly is here to up your vibe. So fair warning, you already saw something that happens. I do voices, I sing, I can get a little crazy when I'm on my mission. So only God knows what's going to happen during this next 45, 50 minutes. But I am sure that we are going to have some fun. So first, a little disclaimer. The information contained in this Up Your Vibe presentation is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not to substitute for professional medical advice. This is your body. This is your right and responsibility. And I take a little serious tone toward that last line, because it truly is. This is my body, and this is my right to do with it what I want. And you're in the same boat. Your mother, your father, your sister, your friends, they're all in the same boat. So everybody is taking their own journey. Disclaimer number 2, today's information is based on the information I have gathered up to this moment, December 17th, 2025, and it's about 4 p.m., 3:26. I only know what I know right now. Every day I learn something new, and we don't know all about how the body heals. We know the foundation. Thank you, Dr. Homer. But we don't know everything. We are in our infancy of putting all these things together. So I do believe in miracles, and we are a miracle. We are a miracle. Anyway, transition to my story. That's cute little me when I was about 2. I'm the youngest of 5 and grew up in this house that I'm in the middle of the Adirondacks in New York State. And there was a lot of turmoil in my house, at least per my perspective. And so I found freedom outside, swimming in the rivers, walking paths, climbing mountains. So that is where my soul lies, in nature. And I got married very young. I had 3 children by the age of 23. They were all C-sections. And this little guy, baby Ben, he was a scheduled C-section. They scheduled it a little too early, and his lungs were not matured. So he spent the first 36 hours in his, as he calls it, his first camping trip. So this set the stage for the first 2 years were very scary because we took multiple trips to the ER, lots of days in the hospital, lots of medications, a lot of money, a lot of loss of income because I did certified daycare at the time, out of my home. So this was definitely a bump in our life. And of course, 36 years ago or 38 years ago, I did not know GNM. This is the same boy, a little bigger. He called on a Monday morning saying he had broken out with a rash all over his body. That took us on a journey to a holistic doctor, remedies, money out the window. And little did I know, all I needed to ask him was, what just happened, Ben? Did you just have a stressor involving all your skin? And yes, there is a story that made perfect sense. So fast forward to about 11, 12 years ago, this is my partner at the time who started with a little lump and it kept growing and doubling overnight on a couple occasions. And we went to, like I said, 10-ish practitioners, all having a different story, all having a different lineup of remedies, of what we can do, yet it kept growing. We did go to a ear, nose, throat specialist or doctor, medical doctor, which we had a very shocking diagnosis and appointment, stage 4 throat cancer, with the suggested solution or the suggested, sorry, my brain's going blank for a moment. It'll come back online. They wanted to do a tracheotomy. They said, we'll do a tracheotomy. You won't be able to eat for 3 months. You won't be able to work for 6 months. And we can help you, but that's our plan. Needless to say, we did not accept that offer. Ed did choose to do chemo. We did a lot of natural things to help support the body while he went through that. He never missed a day of work, and he never got sick from it because he believed, I will plant that. But 9 months of turmoil from the start to finish and $25,000 out of pocket. That was quite a big bump in our lives. Had we known GNM, the moment that showed up, we would have known exactly, because he did have a stressor that matched up with that. So lack of knowledge did affect our household. So here we are. This is the sanctuary of the inner song. This is my childhood home, but over the last 4.5 years, I have been renovating every square inch, all 4 bedrooms. Everything you see that's painted, I did. So I've had a mission to have a house of healing for about 15 years. And finally, I just finished a few months ago, and I sit in my upper office. This is called Hazy Haven. And I am so excited to start having people here to teach them GHK and how incredible their bodies are. So, what that last 4 years really taught me was faith. I did not believe in God. I wouldn't say I didn't believe, but I didn't have it as a core of who I am. I didn't use the belief to my benefit. That's a good way to say it. So faith as designed or as defined is trust, confidence, just knowing, but no proof. Just have faith. As we tell people that are healing, just have faith and you'll get through it. Sometimes faith isn't enough because you need a little bit of proof. When I was searching and preparing for this presentation, I came across this. The indigenous tribes describe faith like this: confidence, belief in a higher power or spiritual forces that govern the natural world. And I was like, ooh, that sounds familiar. The 5 biological laws of nature. So this is the GNM compass. Well, it's not Dr. Hammer style, it's Deanna style. So I drew this out when I was first learning GNM and trying to figure out what all this was all about. So here's the summary. This is our nervous system, day, night rhythm. That's when we're in perfect balance. We've got our energy by day, and at night, we put our head on the pillow and we sleep, and then we wake up and do it all again. So what Dr. Hammer discovered is that what takes us out of that homeostasis is what he called an unexpected event, an unexpected shock. As determined by the psyche perceives the event, a scare fright, a fear in the territory, an overwhelm, I can't digest this, a hearing conflict, however the psyche perceives it, there's all these little brain relays that are correlated to all our parts of the body. And the moment it feels and sees this, feels this theme, I can't digest this, scare, fright, whatever. There's an exchange of energy. We get a hit on our brain and it sends a signal down to our organ. We're conflict active. Our hands and feet are cold, constant thoughts, thinking about this unexpected event. We wake up at night trying to resolve the conflict. So, first hint, use that time wisely. It is on purpose. So the moment you wake up, you look at the clock and you're like, oh, do I have to go pee? Or am I stressed? What am I thinking about? 1, 2, 3. So the goal of conflict active is to resolve sooner than later, because what's going on at the organ level is there's extra cells on some of the organs. That is the design. They're adapting. We need extra cells. Different parts of the brain say, we need to break down cells. And then there's other parts of the brain that have a functional change. More sugar, less sugar, more hormones, more lubrication. So one of 3 things will happen on the organ level. So whatever is there is right for the current circumstances. Our goal is to resolve. And once we resolve, and it's not our thinking brain, although that helps, but it is our psyche. Our psyche says, whoo, glad this is over. So we go from this very excited state where we're not sleeping very well and we're constantly on it to finally relaxed. And what's really fascinating about this phase is there's some microbes in here that know where to go in the body, just how many, because they've been waiting on the sidelines here. And they go in, they start breaking down tissue, they start rebuilding tissue in this healing phase A, which you might even just be sleeping through because this is the vagatonic, the sleep phase. In the middle of that sleep phase, this whole thing is the sleep phase, but in the middle of this, our body has to get rid of all these extra, all the repair that just went on. So depending on what organ, we sneeze, we cough, we bleed, we have a seizure, whatever is needed goes on here. When that's over, sometimes slowly, it gets less and less and less. Then we have this phase I call Miss Peas a lot. And we drop down into this vagatonic phase. And through this phase, this is when we get our best sleep in a long time because we haven't been sleeping in a while. And through this is a scarification on the organ level. This is the site of the brain, obviously my drawing of them. This is the scarification. This is what the brain looks like, a little white spot when the program's over. So this is the general process of all biological programs of nature. So what I love is once one symptom shows up, sometimes it shows up here, rare, but it shows up here, we know what program's going on. We know what special biological process is going on. And that means the rest of the symptoms are predictable. So if I have a stuffy nose, that goes on here. I'm going to talk about the seven dwarfs. I have the stuffy nose, then sneezy, then drippy, then PE, and then we have sleepy, and then we get back to balance. I don't talk about those dwarfs very often, so thank you for letting me entertain you. So what is the psyche? This is my definition. Short story is it's everything. So it's all our experiences from conception to present. All our senses have ever seen, ever heard, ever smelled, ever felt, ever thought. All our emotions, our family's generational experiences. And that's interesting. And I'll just tell the short story of this, but you can search orange blossom mouse experiment. I have a healing going on that's playing with my brain today and my speech. So we're just going to go with it because we're all human. So what this experiment showed is that they had these mice and they would scare them at the same time that they would give them a burst of orange blossom, beautiful smelling scent. They did this for one generation. Every little baby mouse that was born was when they would smell orange blossom, they would get frightened. So your responses to life may not be anything that you had to do with. It could literally be your grandparents, your great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, an experience that they experienced. Think about that. So over the last 10 8-ish years I've been coaching. And I realized I kept like doing certain things in certain orders. And it really boils down to me, health boils down to these 6 categories. This is GHK right here. Learning to understand and trust your body. Many people that have symptoms stop having fun, so they get stuck here. Many people have a lot of self-care things that they're doing that are exhausting, that are financially debilitating. So I realized that I needed to know what was in their toolkit and then add some simple, fun ones. Many people are having a really difficult time making conscious decisions. Many medical decisions are made out of fear. Not in this model. Many people that are discovering GNM don't have anybody to talk to. They don't have a healthy support system. So I like to really address that. And ultimately, this is the ultimate goal. This is the carrot. I want to know your soul's mission, because that's in you. These other things are just getting in the way. So when I work with somebody and address all these, not in any box form, kind of what comes up, it's really beautiful progress. So back to the psyche. My goal as a practitioner is get to know your psyche, the person that I'm working with, because the psyche is constantly looking out for danger, but also looking out for good things. Many people are frustrated with their psyche, but we need to befriend our psyche. So time out for a little fun. This is Sunshine, a character I created on my iPhone a couple of years ago. And I'd started working with Michelle, and she had multiple symptoms and was fretting all day long. So after one of our sessions, I was like, well, Michelle likes music. I like singing. Let's have fun. Let me write her a song. So I wrote this song. Thank you, body, for healing me. Thank you, body, for healing me. Thank you, body. Thank you, body. Thank you, body. Thank you, body, for healing me. So Michelle really loved that, and she still sings that to herself when she gets herself in a fretful situation. Claudia's story. This surprised me because I didn't want it here, but it's here. So my brain is transitioning to Claudia's story. All right, simple. So Claudia was also one of my first clients, and she was funny. She'd send me a text. I have this symptom. Should I panic? Am I going to die? Should I go to the ER? And Michelle wanted to know the GNM compass. She wanted to know, she was just like, give me all the websites, give me all your resources. So she liked that model. Claudia, don't show me any writing. She had faith in her God. She knew he created her perfectly. She was a psychologist, so she knew trauma, sickness, there was some kind of correlation. So for Claudia, all I needed to say is, Claudia, yes, your symptoms are healing. Most often they were. And here's the symptoms to come. Most often it was finishing with the coughing or the sneezing or whatever was going on. And then, are you okay with a nap for a day or two? She's like, yeah, I like naps. So she didn't need all the details. She just wanted to know if she was going to be okay. So having fun while learning and healing accelerates the process. I call them quickenings. This morning, I had a really tired day yesterday. And because my back, right hip, were both needing, they were in surgical process. And I went for a little walk in the snow this morning. And while I was walking, it was burning. So I was like, oh, I feel you. I feel you. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. God, 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 got it, 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 got it. And I didn't just say the words, I felt the words. And what that does, oh, I forgot I turned these exciting words on. Hold on, time out for exciting words. What that does is it helps the body move through the healings. So he saw all these. If I would have responded, oh, this hip, I can't do anything I want, oh, and had this whole big story, the body feels that low vibration. I just want to get back. That's an example of impatience. I just want to be out there blazing and helping people. Well, that's not what my body needed. It needed a little rest, and I was pushing it. So when I did yes, 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 I'm accepting what is going on. I'm using my voice, I'm using my tone, I'm putting a feeling of confidence on. And I can't even remember when I got home and I was like, oh, my pain's gone. I don't know when that was because I was in the moment of yes, 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 thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is what I call quickening. So let's talk about a few stories. So this is Troy's adventure in his fancy pants. Let me see what's next. Okay. For about 2 years, I coached for a GHK, Crohn's, colitis, gut issues. So it's Mike, Heal Your Gut guy. He's a great guy. So for 2 years, I coached these clients. I'd coach them once or twice a week, and then we'd have Q&As. So sometimes I saw them 3 times a week. Well, there's this one guy, I can't remember his name, but we're going to call him Troy. Well, as with most people that start diarrhea, long programs, they have diarrhea and it creates frustration, which creates a loop. We won't go into the details of all that, but diarrhea, frustration, diarrhea, frustration. So at this point, he was not able to leave his house without pooping his pants. So he was already using what he called big boy diapers. I call fancy pants, and wasn't having much fun in life. So I said, okay, what do you think about this? I said, what do you think about, so first, he needed to understand that the diarrhea was a healing event. And it's to be praised, not fought. So that was some of the work that we did up until this point. You know the GNM process, you know the theme. I can't digest this. Why can't I, ... And frustrations at the root of it. So he was stuck here. Everything was frustrating to him. Understandably so. So I gave him a challenge. I said, what would it look like? You find your best music, put it on in your ears. You get layers of underoos on, fancy pants, and put your backpack on. You have your wipes, you have your underwear, you have things that you need. And your goal is to go in the backyard, poop your pants, come back in and clean. Go to the neighbors, go here, go around your neighborhood, not really go in your neighbors and poop. Sorry, I had to go back to that. But to get the psyche to know that, yay, we're here, so it can drop down, and then you have watery diarrhea, then you have mucousy diarrhea, then you get tired. That's what needed to happen, not the frustration with it. Sorry, I'm getting excited. So he came to the next call and he had the biggest smile on his face. And he said, I took your advice. And he broke the pattern of chronic diarrhea. Yay, Troy. The other option would be to hire a medical surgeon because that is an option. And just because we know GNM, another point, doesn't mean that we don't go to the doctors, we don't have a surgery if we need it. Sometimes a healing is too much. So to go to the right doctor to prepare and give us anesthesia, go in, have the tumor removed, clear the margins, please, rinse it, internal, external stitches, bandage me up, put me through the recovery rooms. Yes, I'll have pinching pain. Yes, I'll have itchy pain, but to do this naturally sometimes would take too much time, too much energy, and some people don't have the support to support them through that. So that is an option. Yes, there's a lot of money out. Yes, you're going to be going through these symptoms anyway. And it's going to take time. GNM does the surgeries. Your microbes are the surgeons. They go directly to the affected tissue. They remove only the tissues necessary. They perfectly clear margins. They remove debris through lymph and sweat. They rebuild tissue. No skin incision, no external wound, perfectly targeted, perfectly performed, always. How beautiful is that? Oh, there's our mic. Who created this? Anyway, so my body's surgical process, it does the prep and anesthesia. It does the removal of the tumor. It does clear the margins. It wrenches and stitches. It sends us in the recovery room. And yes, we do have pinching pain. So it is pretty miraculous that we can do that if we need to. Here's a couple examples of my back, me going through a surgical procedure. I had a situation where I felt stabbed in the back. I knew GNM at this time, and the conflict was over, but I kept getting this itchy spot right in the center of my back. And it just for about a year and a half, it just itch. And I was like, okay, I haven't resolved it yet, obviously. And then one day I was actually going through something and I said a casual remark. It was about hiring somebody. And the person that caused the stab in the back was an employee of mine. That's a short story. So I told that person I will never, ever hire her again. That is all my psyche needed to resolve. So that night, I put a little tool on top of this, brought it to a head, and over the course, I don't know if it was 4, 5, 7 days, but it eventually dried up, sloughed off, and left me with a little spot. Surgery complete. Thank you. So at one point, I had fungus all over my body. I did not know GNM until it had crept, started on my chest, went down my belly, started going over my shoulders. And once I learned GNM and realized that it's only traveling because I felt grossed out by the fungus taking over my body, I reversed it all and I have no fungus on my body anymore. So all free. So if I ran to the doctors every time I got a sickness, these are the programs that I've run in the last decade. Bronchial carcinoma. Actually, that was 20 years ago. After, I won't even say. 3 ductal breast cancers. Schmovid. I had a really big healing because of somebody else's accident they had and me watching it. I had a cervical cancer. I had 2 bleeding UTIs. Thank goodness, I understand blood and multiple sinus infections. I mean, that's just a handful of them. I've had probably 100 relatively intense healings since doing this house. Anyway, why is this not going forward? Okay. All these processes I now confidently call God's surgical procedures. They were free, no copays, no follow-ups, no denials, no unnecessary nothing. So the 5 biological laws, thank you, Dr. Homer. What indigenous cultures called faith, Dr. Homer showed us biologically. How beautiful is that? So as we are navigating life, keep this visual in mind. We are constantly exchanging energy with people. I sing at funerals. I walk into a funeral. I cannot be hallelujah, hallelujah, like dancing. I've got to match their energy. I have to bring it down at least to, well, actually, I present in love so that my music, my self is exchanging with their sorrow. So when we bring GHK knowledge and start applying it to our life, we realize, this is a phrase that's on the bottom of my emails, you're perfectly perfect for what you've been through. We are designed to adapt and not only survive, but thrive. So keep learning Germanic healing knowledge so you can have a fun and adventurous life. Because that's what you're here for. Thank you for listening to this whole program, process, presentation. Remember, happy homes are healthy homes. It starts with knowledge. It starts with predictability, love, confidence, starting to understand your body, and starting to make sure that you're on your path to make this world a better place. So I am very excited to have a place at whatever point is right. You want to come to the Adirondacks and have an outdoor adventure and also just learn how incredible your body is. You just reach out. Always here to up your vibe. Blessings.